What's up, guys and gals? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope everything's going your way. Hope it's a positive, nice day because it's raining outside, and usually rainy weather actually puts people in a down mood. But that's besides the point. What I want to talk about today is going to be a very serious video. This is going to be more of an educational video. You know what? We can't have that. Hold on. Bear with me for a second here. Alright, that's much better. Okay, what I want to talk about is, first off, I don't want to get off track, so first off, let me start off by saying we are taught to go to school, go to college, so we can get a good paying job, right? So we can get a good paying job, so then we can, retire early. That's basically the plan. Retire early, early is going to be different for everyone else, obviously. Now, the way our generation, and when I say our generation, I mean generation after generation after generation, our remaining generations. So they're getting worse and worse. I mean, when I was younger, man, someone would, a kid curse. You wouldn't see a kid cursing in elementary school, and now it's like kids curse, kids smoke, kids drink, and it's downhill. And you got to think about it. What the cause of the generations getting worse and worse is the fact that these kids are raised by terrible parents who don't teach them morals, who don't teach them what's right from wrong, and then they have kids at a young age, and then they're not suitable to be parents, and so it's carrying on. It's carrying on. It's like a plague. It's terrible. But that's besides the point. So we're taught to, go to school so we can retire at a young age, right? Or retire in our 60s or 50s or 40s or whatever. But that does not seem to be the case. It really breaks my heart when I go into a store, or places I've even worked, and there are elderly who are in their 60s or their 70s, and they're still working. And it breaks my heart because, it's like we go to school for a percentage of our life, 12 years, and then, a majority goes to college for even more years, and then you work basically the rest of your life. And that is, what kind of life is that? You got to think, what kind of life is that? So, I'm not going to live that life. That's not going to happen for me. I'm going to retire, in my 30s. It's going to happen. And when I say retire, I don't mean from work. I mean retire from corporate America. So basically, it just breaks my heart. And the reason that they need to work until they die, and the rest of their life, and they're old and they can barely work, which is very sad. The reason is because they didn't set themselves up. They didn't set themselves up for a retirement fund. Now, here's the thing. Social Security is... I'm torn between two sides with Social Security. Now, the reason being is because if you work for corporate America, doesn't matter what job in corporate America, you pay into Social Security. There's no ways around that. There's no loopholes. There's no ways around it. Now, if you are your own boss, if you are, self-employed, that is the only exception. You won't have to pay Social Security, right? Now, so, I personally would rather not pay into Social Security, but that's just me. But do I think it's good? It is good, especially for the people who, like, for instance, these older people who are working minimum wage jobs, middle class jobs. The only reason that they're even somewhat surviving is if they didn't have that Social Security, I don't know what they'd do. They would be very screwed. They would be screwed. It would be very terrible. It would be much worse. So Social Security is a good thing. It's something that you pay into your entire life while working for corporate America. Depending on the amount of money you make, and how you don't get to choose how much you put in. It's a percentage. It's a set amount. You don't get to choose. Now, so why Social Security is good for people is because people who don't think about their future. They don't think about setting up, to retire at a young age, or whatever their personal preference is. So what I gotta say is, you got your Social Security, right? All of you, whatever age you are, the viewer, you could be your 50s or 60s, 20s, late 20s, maybe even 18. But your first job, you will start paying into Social Security. Now, that's not a bad thing because at a certain age, you'll be able to take it out. But Do you have a 401k? Do you have a Roth IRA? Do you have a Roth, a traditional Roth? Now, some of you might not know what that is. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to explain it. Now, I'm going to assume a majority of you do not have a 401k. Now, there are several ways to get a 401k, and you can get a 401k through your employer. Some employers match certain percentages. Highest I've seen is like 15%. You're never going to see 100%. Now, the percentage is based off how much you choose to pay into your 401k per pay period. Now, depending on your gross income depends on the amount you're able to put in a year, in a based year. I'm not sure on all of them. There's a lot of them because there's so many different brackets with the tax system, and there's a lot that plays into it. So it's a little bit confusing. I don't want to confuse you. I just want to break it down. So your 401k is basically a retirement fund. It's like Social Security, but it's a little bit different. So you got your basically how 401k works is you put money into mutual funds. I don't want to get into it, but you put money into mutual funds at a certain percentage. And again, the percentage varies, so I can't really tell you. And you get to pick how much you want to put out of each check. But like I said, there's a set percentage, even with Roth IRAs. So if your employer does offer a 401k, I encourage you to get it. If you're in your 20s, dude, set up now, bro, or girl, or whoever you are. Set up now. Prepare yourself for early retirement, because no one in our generations is thinking about it. It's not something people think about. And the thing is, it's never too late. You could be in your 50s right now, and guess what? It's never too late, because in 5 years, depending on how much you put in, depending on the match and all that, you could get a good chunk of money. It's never too late. So don't think, oh man, I should have done it when I was there. Do it now. It's never too late. Do it now, so you don't have to work the rest of your life, so you can live comfortable. And I'm going to get to that in a minute, how you can live incredibly comfortable off just a retirement fund. So, if your employer offers a 401k, definitely go for it. Do not put it on the back burner. Get it the minute you can get it. And depending on how much you want to put in, that's based on you personally. So if you want to put in $100 or whatever, that's up to you. I can't tell you how to do that. That's on you, depending on your finance and everything else, how you're doing financially and everything. So now a Roth IRA and a Roth. There's a traditional Roth. Now the two differences is really simple. I'll break that down as well. So you have your traditional Roth. Now traditional Roth is a retirement fund. It's basically like a 401k. There's a couple differences between the two. Now, so your Roth, a traditional Roth, what happens is when you put your money in mutual funds, same thing, right? But this is basically for independence. This is something like a 401k is a little bit more difficult, a little more different. But a Roth IRA, there's several organizations you go to, even Chase Bank, they're actually discontinuing it. They don't do it anymore. But there's lots of places you can do it. Your bank might do it. So a traditional Roth, basically what happens is when you put your money in, per pay period, right? When you put your money in, it doesn't get taxed, right? Now listen to me. This part's critical, especially for if you're really going to do this. Basically, it's not going to get taxed. But when you do withdraw out of your Roth, your traditional Roth, right, you're going to get taxed. Now you have a Roth. Now, so that's your Roth, traditional Roth. Then you have a Roth IRA. Now the difference is when you put money into your Roth IRA, it will be taxed. Okay? That's the difference between the two. Now, when you take it out, whenever that is, it's not going to be taxed. Now, you're going to want to go with a Roth IRA. I'm going to encourage you to, at least. I go with a Roth IRA. Now, the reason because you want to go, the reason you want to go with the Roth IRA is because you don't know. Okay, now Trump, I don't want to get into politics, but Trump is going to lower taxes. It's going to happen. Right now, there's 7 brackets. Some of you might not know that. It's high-end range is 39%, right? Which is a lot. And if you make that much, you wouldn't want to pay that much. So taxes are going to be dropped across the board. More than likely, it's going to be the 4 tax bracket system. Now, the thing is, we don't know what our future is going to be. Like, we don't know if taxes are going to quadruple in the near future. So if you went with a traditional Roth IRA and you don't tax it when it goes in, but you want to pull out 2.5 million, 1.5 million, whatever it is that you have in there, that's going to be taxed. And it's going to be taxed based off whatever the tax percentage is in that point in time. So It's smarter to tax it while it goes in, and when you want to pull it out, 2.5 million, you pull out that 2.5 million. And there's no rules to how much you can pull out. You can pull it out all out. When it comes to Social Security, it's not the same. Social Security is completely different from a 401k and a Roth IRA and a traditional Roth. They're all different. They all have different rules. They all work different, but you're already paying into Social Security. There's no way around that unless you're self-employed. All right. But if you guys, which I believe the minimum to set up a Roth IRA or a Roth, traditional Roth, is $1,000. You might think that's steep, but listen, dude, you're setting up for your future. And if you're in your 20s, if you're younger than me, if you're older than me, dude, it's never too late. And the younger you are, the better. That is the truth. The younger you are, the better. You can retire quicker. I mean, it's based off a lot of things, but if you're paying into Social Security already, right? So that's already something that's going to be set up, right? But if you get a Roth IRA and your employer, whoever you're employed by, or there are organizations you can go to get a 401k. If you have all three, man, you're going to have 3 sources of income when you want to retire, when you're ready to retire. Now, with the Social Security, you can't pull out until, I believe, 62 or something like 52. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But as far as 401k and your Roth IRA doesn't have those types of rules, right? And you can pull as much as you want out. That's the difference. And also, it's written in stone. Roth IRA and Roth can't really change. The rules are written in stone. Now, 401k, that's not entirely the same. So think about it, guys. You really got to think about it. If you're 20, if you're 18, first job, or if you're in your 50s, and it's never too late. Don't think, oh shit, I should have done that when I was younger. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. You don't want to work the rest of your life, right? If you can cut off an extra 10 years, don't you want to? Start now, okay? You need to get a retirement fund. If you get all 3, dude, you're doing yourself a damn good favor. You're doing good, because you're going to have plenty of income. You won't have to work. You're probably going to live rather good, I mean, because you got to kind of factor it in that, all these old people that are needing to work jobs because they can't live off Social Security. But if you have all 3, dude, you have a 401k, you have your Roth IRA, and you have Social Security, dude, you're going to be set. You're not going to have financial issues. I plan to retire from corporate America in the next 4 years. Now, some of you who are watching may call that bullshit, but it's not. I have my priorities. I know what I need to do in order to do that. Sorry, I'm a little brain scattered. It's still early in the morning. So, anyways, if you guys like the video, if you have any questions about any of this at all, go ahead and comment below. I can definitely help you with any questions you have. I can even guide you if you want. When it comes to making money, I can guide you into what's good, what's not. So, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope you have a wonderful day, and share my video. Please share my video. If you'd share it on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, share it. I would totally appreciate that, because, this video can help others. This is something you really need to think about. You don't want to work forever. Even if you get a good paying job, making $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, you can be saving that money. Let me bring this up real quick. So you got a savings account, right? Now the thing is, when it comes to a savings account and all these retirement funds, a savings account it's made to save your money and build interest. But the thing is, all these banks, dude, you're not even going to find 1%. You're going to find 0.5%, 0.2%, 0.1%, 0.5%, probably not even. And you got to, unless you have an enormous amount of money, you're not going to build a lot of money off of a savings account.